Hello ladies, my name is Marin and I want to welcome you all to Thankful Thriftiness. Today I want to share with you a couple of simple sewing projects to make your own baby essentials. A sweet friend of mine is having a baby in July and her shower is on Saturday. So I wanted to make her a couple of baby boy essentials. First of all, burp cloths. I mean, every baby needs these. The ones I made were a little bit smaller, as in not super wide, but they're more for when you're out and about and you just need a little burp cloth to clean up. Versus, I guess what I would use if I were at home would probably be something bigger, but not as cute. I don't feel like burp cloths have to be gender specific, but I did get fabrics that could work either way, but are also just lovely, and I would feel pretty wearing them because, let's be honest, we're the ones wearing the burp cloths. So I got more of a leafy one because I know my friend enjoys plants, and I also got this really cute fabric with a swan on it because I thought it was adorable and I thought she might enjoy it too. The other item we are making today is something very gender specific called a PPTP. So I made 3 of them. They are for changing little boys' diapers for protection for the person changing the diaper. These are really helpful. I know my mom used them for my little brother, as did my sisters and I when changing his diaper. And let me tell you, if you do not have these and you have a baby boy, seriously consider making some yourself or buying some. They are very, very helpful. So to begin with, you're going to need to purchase your fabrics. I purchased about 2 yards of this really soft minky fabric. I think that's what it's called. It's really versatile for a lot of baby items. I didn't need 2 yards for this project, but I did want to purchase that much because I know I'll use it in the future. For the other side, I got, I think it was called like nursery material. It's the typical stuff you find in burp cloths, very soft but durable. Before you begin sewing, as always, make sure that you wash and dry your fabrics on whatever setting you will end up washing and drying them on later. Then make sure that you iron all of your fabrics before you begin sewing. To begin making the teepees, I cut a circle out of paper that was 4 inches in diameter. Then I cut out an extra chunk that was about 3/8 of the circle. You can make them more steep or wide. It's really up to you. They're gonna end up being a cone in the end, but I found that this is a pretty good fraction to use. I just used scrap fabric for the top of it. You can use literally whatever. It's not a big deal either way. And then I used towel fabric for the inside. I literally just cut up an old towel. Not a dirty towel, but one I'm no longer using. Lay your pattern on your fabric and cut out a piece of your towel fabric and your decorative fabric. Then fold your fabric in half with the right sides together. Then sew along the edge using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Next, turn only the cone with the towel fabric right side out, and then stack the 2 cones inside of each other. Pin the circular edges of the fabric together. And sew all but an inch. Then flip the teepee right side out. And finish sewing along the circular edge with either a whip stitch or an invisible stitch. And that's it. Now you've got the perfect little teepee. Now for the burp cloths. I created my own pattern out of just plain printer paper, and the dimensions I used were 10 inches lengthwise, 6.5 inches at the smallest part, and 8.5 inches at the widest part of the curve. You will note that this is definitely not the shape of a burp cloth, but that's because I wanted to make sure that the top and bottom of the burp cloth were symmetrical. So what I did was I folded the fabric in half and then laid this straight edge on the folded fabric line. Pin your pattern to your cloth and make sure that you cut out one shape from the minky fabric and one from your nursery fabric. Once your 2 types of fabric are cut out, pin them right side together along the edges. Sew with a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around, leaving about 5 inches unsewn. Then trim down your fabric until there's only a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then flip your burp cloth right side out. And pin all the way around, including the area that you did not sew. With most patterns, I would advise ironing when you flip it right side out before you top stitch it. But I do not with this because I find that minky does not respond well to being ironed. So just pin it to the best of your abilities and sew it, and I find it's a much more pleasing effect than attempting to iron the minky fabric. Then top stitch all the way around using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and it'll sew that area right up. And there you have it. You now know how to make burp cloths and PPTPs. Please let me know in the comments below if there are any other baby sewing projects you would like to see me do on this channel. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye!